Welcome back, Frederick Advice Givers, episode 137 with my buddy Roland Thompson here, Thompson Flooring. I've known Roland, man, when I built my house 11, 12 years ago, I think Roland did the install there. He's been around forever, knows everybody in Frederick, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia. He's been around the block. Super passionate guy about what he does. He's very concerned about the overall product, overall look of the house, of the piece, of the flooring. He really specializes in carpet and linoleum, right?
Any flooring. Yeah,
Right.
But yeah, carpet's was what I started in.
Right.
It was back in '72.
Okay.
And carpet and linoleum was what went in. Of course, it was called linoleum back then.
Right.
And so that's where I started. But you had to reach out later in life, and so I added the wood and everything else to it. So if it goes on the floor, I can have it done.
You can have it done. So yeah, one of the things that really sets Roland apart is, I mean, he's very precise about. I don't even know what he does. His cuts, his seams. Roland is a top-notch installer, and the guys that he associates himself with. He's had a couple guys. Well, heck, when you came out one time at my house, we had a big snow, right?
Yeah, we had to come around the yard and then had to go up that hill to come around back and get out of there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we showed up.
Showed up, you got it done, looks beautiful. All right, so Roland, tell us your backstory. Like, where did you get started? You say you got started in '72. Give us your backstory of what you're doing.
My wife told me to make my stories short.
Okay.
Okay, so, because I could go forever. But I started in 1972 after I graduated. Trade schools were big then, and learning a trade.
Right.
So that's what I opted to do. And I started out as a trainee at a pretty dominant company in Hagerstown.
Okay.
And I worked there for 5 years. I worked there from 72 to 75.
Okay.
And at 75, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go out on my own. So I stepped out on my own and started subcontracting back to the company that I was working hourly, and then added other things to it. So that's how I got started. It's back in 1972.
And you're local here?
I'm local, correct.
Okay. Correct. So, and what's your wife, kids, grandkids? What do you have?
I've got 11 grandkids.
11 grandkids?
11 grandkids, yes. I got 5 children.
Okay.
My wife teaches first grade at Frederick Christian Academy.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Yes. And she loves kids. So,
right.
So she teaches there. Looking to retire,
Right.
but she's because it's getting that time. But that's what she does.
Right.
And so we have a busy household.
Good. All right. Before we get into the crux of the interview, you might have seen this guy on TV. So what shows have you been on?
All right, I done ABC Extreme Makeovers.
Okay.
I did their one that went up for the Oscar, and their next to last season called Fishing School in DC. I ran that one.
Okay.
Then they called me and wanted me to run their season premiere on their last season, and that was Girls Hope in Baltimore.
Okay.
So yeah, spent a lot of hours on that. It was it was enlightening and had a good time and everything else. A lot of hours, 32 hours straight, because I was running all the people that came in. I had to make sure they were getting to where they needed to go for the flooring. So then after that, I started doing on the Food Network, Restaurant Impossible.
Okay.
They flew
How do
me
these people
around.
find you?
I've reached out in this industry.
Is it from the Mohawks and the
correct? As you can, as
the people you get
people
the
say
from?
No, actually, it's from out of the installation area.
Okay.
Okay. I've been through all the manufacturers' trainings. I've been through Mohawk Shaw. There's an outfit, as you can see, my shirt says CFI. It's called Certified Flooring Installers. We're based out of Forney, Texas. We certify installers around the country. And I'm a senior certifier for them, a Master 2 installer for them. And so through the industry, they know us.
Right.
And so the shows then, once you do one, then your name gets into that arena.
Right.
That you're somebody that they can depend on, because it takes a special patience on shows, because you have to start and stop. You don't know what you're walking into.
Right.
And you got to think quick on your feet. And so I did up until their last season. I did 30 some shows for them, and that. So I did that show. So that they don't do that one anymore. But I've just done a couple episodes on the DIY network for Stonehouse Revival.
Okay.
Now I can't go into that because they haven't aired yet.
Okay. So stay tuned. Stonehouse Revival.
Yeah.
All right, Roland. So what's the last purchase that you splurged on, either for yourself or your family or your business? And I know you travel a lot. But
Yeah.
when you travel, you're doing the trainings, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
When I travel, I'm either teaching and I travel some for work.
Right.
Jobs that people call me out of town. But yeah, most of my traveling is doing with the industry itself.
Okay.
Training, teaching, conventions, education itself. But as far as a purchase for personally, probably the last major one was in 2008 when my wife said I want a bigger house, and I bought a bigger house.
You bought a bigger house. There you go.
And the downfall of that is that now I have some of my children living there and grandkids.
The grandkids, I don't know if that's a downfall. The kids, maybe.
Yeah,
The grandkids,
yeah.
I'm sure you and your wife enjoy having around.
Yes, we do.
All right, Roland. So what's a hobby or interest that you enjoy doing? I know you. I know you, and I know you work 24/7. But in that 15 minutes a day, when you get some free time, what are you doing?
Well, there again, it's a mixture. I still like sports.
Okay.
I played sports in high school.
Right.
And didn't do bad at it. And so I'll still get out and shoot some hoops when I have time.
Right.
I still play every New Year's Day. We've been doing it. I'm the last of the original still playing New Year's Day football game tackle at North Hagerstown.
Okay.
And so we played this New Year's Day. So I still will get out and do that. So those are my hobbies. But my wife will tell you my hobbies is when I get home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always there's new products coming out. There's new
Right.
things coming out, and I'm going on looking at the manufacturers. New products are coming out with new techniques are coming out.
Right.
So she tell you my passion is still my work, even though I'm not physically doing it.
Right.
I'm mentally doing it.
And that's not a bad
problem.
thing, you know. Being an entrepreneur like yourself, I'm always looking at innovative ways to help my clients too.
Correct.
And that's why you're at the level you are, because you are passionate.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when you wake up in the morning, Roland, besides those 11 grandkids,
Yeah.
what's inside you that gets you motivated?
Really, my customers.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll let you finish here. I know when I have a client and I say call Roland, like I know I have not gotten one call in the I don't know if I've hundreds of 50s to hundreds of clients that I've referred to you that they've ever come back and said we had an issue with Roland. It's always, man, what the nicest guy we've talked to. He was so he did a great job. He just couldn't have been nicer. So,
I guess through the years of being in customers' homes installing, because that's what I started out as.
Right.
And I still get out. I mean, I went to a job site and unloaded the guys just today and talked to the customers and then come back. And listening to their concerns of how they were treated at stores.
right.
And listen to their concerns. And in '95, I went into a major dealer and took over all of his customer service and quality control. When the phone rang, said we had a problem, whether it was a salesperson, the installer, or the store itself, it came to my desk and I had to deal with it. And listen to the customers then saying what they wanted and what they expected. And that's what drives me, is being able to give them what they expect. Now, believe me, is there bumps? Sure, there's bumps. And is there things that happen? Sure, things happen. But if you treat the customer with respect and you handle that concern that happened in a timely manner, people expect things like that. And that's what every day. So the end of the day, in the morning when I get up, what drives me is to going out doing a nice job, and my wife would tell you, this is what I do, and this is what has become. I left at 5. I was down at the tile shop in Rockville, going through because the CTIF Ceramic Tile was putting on a seminar, and I went to it. you
Right.
know, because that's what I do.
Right. All right. So, what's a piece of advice that you would give somebody just starting out in business? You've been doing this from '72, so you've got to have a couple nuggets.
Well, one thing is, especially if you were in the installation realms, or even if you wasn't, if you're starting a business. I learned the hard way. You need to take a business course.
Okay.
Okay, that's a piece of advice. Because you can do your job, but to run a business, you need to know how to run a business. And I'm still learning, but still, you take a business course. Take a course that helps you be prepared. Because I'm a firm believer that's where a lot of things fail. It's because they don't know how to run a business.
Right.
You know, and listen to people that know how to run a business. Listen to people that are experts in what you are trying to do. And, you know, don't be bullheaded and not take advice.
It's much different to run a job site
Correct.
than to run the overall business.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly.
You know, so that's my best advice: is to have a passion for what you do, learn everything you know of what you're doing, and take a business course so you know how to run a business.
All right, Roland. So, what on the flip side of that? What is a bad piece of advice maybe somebody gave you that, looking back, like, you know, that didn't work out quite like they said it was going to?
Bad piece of advice. That was a tough one. The question to ask me, because you know what, I've been fortunate. I've had some good people through my life that, you know, my father, he instilled in me honesty. You got to be honest. You know, my coaches playing sports instilled into me to work hard and strive to do the best I could. And so, bad advice, probably not listening to your customer.
Okay.
You know, thinking that you know more than
Right.
You might know more about your product than your customer, but you don't know more about their lifestyle and what they expect. So probably, you know, guys will say, well, I know better, the customer don't know. No, you got to listen to them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
You know.
That's good. On the flip side of that, if you know you're right, you need to listen to your customer. But if you can convey to them and explain to them why they might not be right, that could go a long way too.
Well,
right?
But
because I know like when you install
Right.
something for me and you're like,
Right.
Eric, you want to do this instead of this.
But
I had in my mindset something else, but you explained it to me in a way
Correct.
that I was able to understand
There-
it, right?
there's a difference there. All right, is that, you know, customer, you know, the old saying that when and everybody's in business, customers aren't always right. Well, that's true, but you have to sit there and listen to what they're telling you, you know. And so once you listen to what they're telling you, then you can lay it out to them, which is the best way to do it, and why is the best way to do it.
Right.
Just like a product, all right. If you go to do a product in the home, let's say what you put in your home has done good for you. So you tell your friend, you know what, this has done well for me. So they're going to come into me and they're going to say, well, you know, Eric put this in his home. He's really happy with it. Bam. Well, then through talking with them and listening to them, their lifestyle might be different than your lifestyle. Me, I got a busy, active house.
Right.
So what works in your house might not work in my house. So you got to be able to listen to them, explain to it, and then go, okay, this is why it won't work there.
Right.
Because not every product, and that's a big failure in this industry, is somebody will put something in their home and it wasn't really meant to be in their home. It might have been meant to be in this person's home.
Right.
So yes, you're right. They're not always right, but when they aren't right, you got to be educated enough to explain to them why. And 99.9% of the customers are going to say, hey, you know what? I understand it.
Right.
But they understood it.
Right. Exactly. All right, Roland. So what's one event that's happened in the last 3 years that's had us sitting here today on Industry Lane in your shop?
Well, you know, like I said, I worked for a major retailer.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it came down to, you know, did I want to strive back out and, you 'cause the times are changing,
Mm-hmm.
and the internet's a big part. Now, not everything on the internet's true on,
Right.
but you got to weigh that out. But internet still is a big thing, and people are more into quick, fast service. And so, I decided, well, you know what, the time is right. That it's a by appointment only, or me
Right.
come to you. Try to keep margins low and but high quality, and give them top customer service. So it was time. It was
Right.
time to make that move and give it a shot and step back out.
All right, Roland, so you're episode 137 of Frederick Advice Givers. I've interviewed 136 other business owners and entrepreneurs like yourself. I find value out of asking you questions.
Mm-hmm.
I take, at pieces of advice from every interview that we have here. So I want to flip the script. I want to give our listeners a chance to hear you ask me a question, and maybe they can get a piece of insight, or maybe yourself.
All right. Dealing in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
all right, and homeowners and homes and businesses and needing to change flooring is important to me.
Right.
How do you see this year panning out on the economy as far as the housing industry?
That's a great question. If I had a crystal ball, I wouldn't be doing what I do. That being said, everything is driven in the economy by, one, supply and demand. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know that. And then two, can people afford that house or that payment or whatever? It's a big kind of misconception when we meet with clients that, I can afford a $300,000 house, or I can afford a $400,000 house. What they're really saying is what they can afford is that monthly payment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So banks and mortgage companies qualify buyers and buyers on a monthly payment amount, not on a set price amount, because there's many factors that go into that price. There's, are you in an HOA? Do you have what are your real estate taxes in the city they're higher than the county? Stuff like that. This is going to be a long-winded answer to your question, but
It's okay.
One, I think the overall economy is still strong, so I
Mm-hmm.
think prices will continue to increase in the Frederick area and surrounding areas. And two, which is going to negatively affect it, is interest rates are going up this year. And they've already gone up probably, this is going to air probably the 1st of May. We're sitting here middle of March doing this. I wouldn't be surprised from the time we're recording this today to the time this airs if interest rates don't go up another 0.5%.
Okay.
So what happens is interest rates are still at near all-time lows. You're still hovering around 5%, 5.5% maybe when this goes off. The consumer immediately, when they see a rate increase from here to here, they get scared.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes.
But after a few weeks or a month or two, that becomes the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So they know the rate's not going back down to 4.5% or whatever it was before, and they readjust their mindset. So now that $300,000 house, which is $2,000 a month, just let's say, they can still afford that $2,000, but they've got to relook at the houses they can afford, because now they're only looking at $280.
Correct.
Or $275. The flip side to that question is there is a ton of new construction
Mm-hmm.
in Frederick.
Right.
I look every day at the market, new houses that come on the market. Typically, a good number of the new listings that come on the market are about 10% new construction.
Okay.
Versus resales. Recently, in the last 6 months, it's more of about 40%
Of new construction.
new construction.
Okay.
So there's a lot more new construction. So a couple things. One, the homeowners are really competing against those new constructions now.
Correct.
Okay, so they've got to call in a professional stager. You and I kind of work, with the same stager. She gives you work, I give you work. We both kind of give you work. Homeowners have to understand that they have to make their house pop.
Okay. Right.
Okay, which could in turn be good for somebody in your business, an ancillary service when selling a house. I've got people like you that I lean on. I've got painters. We both have mutual painters that we refer
Right.
each other to. We've got hardwood guys that can refinish. We've got plumbers. We've got finishers. So those ancillary services, I think, if homeowners that are looking to sell find the right agency, find the right company that knows that what they're going up against, which is the new construction, we're hopefully by the time we air this, we've got a mutual client that you just did work for. I'm not going to name anything, but you did mutual work for us. Hopefully by the time they have a contract, because they understood that they've got to get their house to tip-top shape to compete. So did that kind of answer your question?
That's my question.
That was a long-winded answer. I can tell a story just like you can.
Hey, like I said, my wife said to keep them short and quick.
So no.
And good grammar. I said, forget that.
Yeah, I ain't talking about that today, right? I ain't talking about that. All right.
Yeah.
So Roland, final two questions here. What failure or loss has helped mold you into the person you are? Now, this could be personal. Me, I've talked about my cousin prior. It's a close loss to me. It could be personal. It could be anything.
Loss that made me to what I am. Yeah, they're good. I've been fortunate as far as when I got into it, and as I went through it, the industry treated me good as the installer. I've worked for every president since starting with Reagan at Camp David and all that kind of places, and that's been good. Probably the loss of my dad. It was tough. He was ready. He was a believer and was ready to go. But still, that's probably a loss because I always went to him for advice on life itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's. You don't fill a void with somebody that close to you. I mean, there's nobody that you can go back out to and. You know what I mean? I mean, once you don't have that sounding board anymore, you don't have that person
Correct.
to go to. There's
Well,
nobody that can fill that void.
Correct. He was one that, when it got down to the nitty gritty, because I listened to a lot of business people,
right.
and take advice from people that, know what they're doing. But when it came down to life's advice,
right.
Family advice, he was there. And he was one that would give you the family advice. I didn't go to him for business advice,
right.
but I went for him for family advice.
Exactly.
And so, and that helped me to what I am today. I'm a person that people that know me, I stay calm.
Right.
There's raising your voice and yelling and getting shook up is just a waste of time.
Right.
So he's instilled that in me. Also, I would say that. Mm-hmm.
All right, Roland. So where do you see yourself in 3 years and then in 10 years?
Well, a lot of people will ask me when I'm going to retire.
Right.
And I tell them about noontime, the day they put me in my grave. It's
right.
my answer. I look for me to still doing the same thing.
Okay.
I really do. It's what I've done my whole life. I enjoy it. I enjoy the industry. There's tough times, but I still enjoy it.
Right.
I enjoy customers. My wife told me one time that if I didn't talk as much, I could be home an hour earlier every day. And I told her if I didn't talk as much, I'd probably be home 2 hours earlier every day.
There you go. I like that. I like that.
And so, because I enjoy satisfying a client. Now, there again, I want to say, is there times that it's tough, and is there times that things don't go right?
You also enjoy people, though, Roland.
I enjoy people.
You are a genuine. You enjoy people.
Yes.
Anytime I come in here, I know I got a budget 20, 30 minutes because we're just going to shoot the shit.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. And so that's what I enjoy. And so I looked at unless something drastically happens, because you never know.
Right.
That I look to still be in the industry, still be doing what I do. Not on my knees. I still enjoy going out and
right.
getting into into the job with the installers. So I still enjoy doing it, and so I'll get out and install. But you know, I'm still at 65. I'm going to be 65 this year, and I realize, you know what, I don't want to mess my body up either. So I look to be doing still both in those years.
All right, so Roland, watching, listening on iTunes, watching the snippets of the podcast, how would our listeners get a hold of you for their flooring needs?
Okay. Well, they can email me anytime at R as in Robert, DT, 81153. RDT. Okay.
RDT 81153.
At AOL.com.
Okay.
And yes, I still have AOL. I hear it all the time. But that, you know, because that's what it is nowadays.
Right.
Or they can call me or text me at 240-625-4543.
Say that again.
240-625-4543.
Awesome. And you're setting up a new shop here. Tell us where we're located. Where are we sitting today?
My shop is.
I know it's by appointment only.
I know.
By appointment only, right?
Yep, by appointment only. Now, if they come by and see a big box truck out there, they can come stop in. I don't stop that. But anyway, it's 5702 Industry Lane, Unit B21 and B22.
Okay.
21704 in Frederick, Maryland.
Right off of 85.
Yep. Right off 85, come back Grove Road, and when you come to the stop sign, you're looking straight at the side of my building.
Right.
Yep.
All right, listeners, viewers, that's episode 137 of Frederick Advice Givers, Roland Thompson, Thompson Flooring and Installation, and we are out.